Most people think about digital security the wrong way. Many people don't really understand the threat or the technology. They don't see the problem with ads that show exactly what they want to buy, or passwords that are easy to use or saved on your browser. They like tech that just works, and their tech seems to work great. Others get their knowledge from movies and TV shows. They picture hackers, breaches, and shadowy strangers breaking in. That happens, but for most people, most of the time, the bigger risk shows up in a quieter way: attention. So before we talk about apps, governments, or cybercrime, let's start with an analogy. Think of your digital life like a house. Security is your door lock. It controls access and answers one question: who is allowed in? Was someone already inside when we locked the door? Privacy is your window shade. It controls visibility and answers a different question: who can see you and what can they see? And anonymity is whether anyone knows who you are at all and whether they care. These overlap, but they're not the same. You can have a locked door and wide open curtains. That means you're secure, but not private. You can also have open curtains and still be anonymous, because the people walking by might see someone, but they don't know your name or your life story. Most of the time, that's fine, until you change the situation in a way that attracts attention. Imagine putting a stack of money on your windowsill. Your lock didn't change, but your risk did, because you created a reason for someone to test the door. Or imagine doing something distinctive in full view of the street. Even if no one can come inside, you've made yourself memorable. Attention changes the equation. That same pattern exists in public life. When you walk down the street, you have very little privacy. People can see you, but you usually still have anonymity. You're one face in a crowd. The default condition of everyday life is that nobody is paying special attention to you. Now think about driving. Your license plate is visible. That isn't private. But it usually isn't a problem because the road is full of cars. You're anonymous by volume. The fact that you can be identified doesn't matter if no one is looking for you. But when you speed past a police car, attention snaps into place. Suddenly, your speed matters, your location matters, your plate matters, and your history might matter. The car didn't change. The road didn't change. The only thing that changed was who was paying attention. If you want a pop culture example, think about fictional gangster Tony Soprano. He can do normal things: drive, eat dinner, call a friend, none of which are illegal. But because law enforcement already has attention on him, ordinary actions take on extra meaning. Who he calls matters. How often matters. Patterns matter. Context turns normal into interesting. Here's the core idea. Risk is not just about what you do. Risk is about how much attention you attract, and from whom. Most people are not Tony Soprano. They are law-abiding civilians. Most people are just driving down the road. And online, most people are also doing ordinary things: reading, searching, chatting, scrolling. But the online world produces records, constantly, even when nothing bad is happening. That's where people get confused, because they assume the main danger is someone breaking into their device. In reality, a lot of the story starts with data that was generated automatically and collected legally. This is where metadata comes in. Metadata isn't the content of what you say. It's the surrounding information: who you talk to, when, how often, from where, and what you did before and after. It's like traffic patterns. One car doesn't say much. A pattern of movement tells a story. That's why so much surveillance, corporate or government, isn't someone reading your messages in real time. It's systems looking for patterns, repeated contacts, repeated locations, routines, networks, connections. It's impersonal and automated. And that's important, because it means most people are not individually watched by a human being. But it also means attention can increase quietly over time, or suddenly based on context. This is also why "I have nothing to hide" misses the point. Privacy and anonymity are not about hiding wrongdoing. They're about not being prematurely categorized, misinterpreted, or retroactively judged when circumstances change. Data collected today can be used under different rules tomorrow. The same behavior can look different when attention shifts. Now let's ground this in something almost everyone has experienced. You browse online for a product, shoes, a couch, a stroller, a flight, and you don't even buy it. You just look. Then that product follows you for days across the internet. Ads on news sites, social media, random apps. That isn't hacking. No one broke into your phone. What happened is that your visit produced data. The device you're using, your general location, the time, the pages you viewed, how long you stayed. That information gets logged and shared through ad networks so they can recognize this browser seems interested in this thing. They often don't need your name. They just need a consistent identifier. You can see the same thing in the physical world now, too. You walk into a store, browse, leave, and later you open an app and see ads related to that store or product. Again, it feels eerie, but it isn't magic. Phones generate location data. Apps collect it. Stores use Wi-Fi, beacons, and other signals. Data brokers buy and sell aggregated movement data. In many cases, nobody needs to know your name. It's enough to know that a device went to a place, or that devices that go to this place also tend to go to that place. In day-to-day life, this is usually not a catastrophe. It's more like living with the window shades half open. You might not love it, but it doesn't automatically mean someone is coming through the door. The risk stays low when attention stays low. The problem begins when the data stops being abstract, when it gets connected across apps, devices, and time, when it gets combined with other databases, when it's attached to a real identity. That can happen through data breaches, where scattered information gets dumped into one searchable pile. It can happen through increasingly precise targeting, where influence campaigns don't need your name so much as they need to know what pushes your buttons. And it can happen when someone becomes politically visible, an organizer, a journalist, a protest leader, because attention changes the value of the same old data trail. And crucially, high-stakes actors often don't need spy movie access to your life to do damage. They can use commercial data, legal requests, platform cooperation, or records that already exist. The point isn't that everyone is being watched all the time. The point is that a trail can exist quietly in the background, and when attention turns toward you or toward your community, your past behavior can suddenly become legible in ways you never intended. And you won't know about it until it's too late. So there are 3 mistakes to avoid. 1 is panic, treating every instance of data collection as an emergency. The good news, most people are in the same boat you are in. Now that you know the problems, you can begin to address them. The second is complacency, assuming that because nothing bad has happened yet, nothing ever will. The truth is in between. Most of the time, data about you exists in the background and doesn't affect your life. But under certain conditions, breaches, targeting, political attention, that same data can be repurposed in ways you didn't consent to and can't control. The third mistake people make is hopelessness. Once they realize this digital surveillance is a problem, many assume that there is nothing they can do about it. As we'll see in this video series, that's not true. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more discussion about the intersection of the digital and political worlds. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Digital safety isn't about being invisible. It's about being intentional. It's knowing the difference between the door lock and the window shade, and recognizing when attention changes the rules of the game. In the next videos, we'll talk about practical steps, smart defaults, simple habits, and realistic trade-offs, so you can protect yourself without living in fear. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.